All right, let's really lean into this. We're looking back at, well, a really pivotal moment in the ever-unfolding, increasingly dark mystery of Riverdale. Chapter 7, In a Lonely Place. This script, it isn't just another installment, right?
Not at all.
It's really where the narrative pulls back the curtain, exposing the town's hidden corners.
Both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, and in ways that they totally redefine what we thought we knew.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is how this deep dive into the script of Chapter 7 completely recalibrates our understanding, not just of Jason Blossom's murder, obviously, but of the very core fabric of Riverdale itself.
Right.
We're going to examine how this narrative pushes characters to their absolute breaking points, forcing these unlikely alliances that kind of defy expectations. And it profoundly reshapes our perception of what home and safety actually mean in this increasingly treacherous landscape. It feels like the moment the town truly sheds its idyllic skin.
Yeah.
And is forced to confront these uncomfortable truths is just meticulously ignored for so long.
Our mission today, then, as we revisit these critical scenes, is to dissect this script piece by piece. We're going to uncover the most impactful revelations, the ones that really redefine character motivations, analyze those twists that just caught us all off guard.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, make some bold predictions about where this story, now armed with these new insights, is just inexorably heading. We're taking your notes and these incredibly dense scenes, and we're diving deep into the emotional and narrative currents of Riverdale right as the town gets a whole lot darker.
And a lot more complicated.
Exactly. And what better way to kick off this journey into Riverdale's murkier depth than with Jughead Jones?
Jughead.
And that opening monologue, it immediately sets such a melancholic, deeply reflective, and frankly disquieting tone. He asks us, almost directly, what makes a place feel like home? Is it warmth and familiarity? Some idealized, make-believe TV version of the American dream?
That idealized version.
Is it love and acceptance? Or is it simple safety? Or it's none of those things?
Wow.
This isn't just like philosophical musing. It's a direct, almost accusatory challenge to us, the audience, and to the very foundations of Riverdale itself.
It really is.
It immediately forces us to reconsider what that word home truly means, especially in a place that increasingly seems to be anything but a safe, familiar haven.
That monologue, right from the opening moments, is absolutely crucial. It immediately establishes the episode's central themes by contrasting that almost idyllic, make-believe TV version of the American dream.
Right. The facade.
The image Riverdale so desperately tries to project, with the grim, unsettling reality that has been bubbling just beneath the surface ever since Jason Blossom's body was found.
Yeah.
Jughead's words are a perfect, poignant setup for his own personal, heartbreaking revelation that soon follows. But beyond that, they serve as a narrative compass for the entire deep dive, priming us, the audience, to question the very foundations of comfort and security in this town. He's articulating a universal human search for belonging, for a sense of peace, but through this deeply specific, acutely isolated lens.
And that's what makes it resonate so powerfully, right?
Absolutely. So many people at different points in their lives feel that sense of being an outsider looking in, desperately searching for that elusive, comforting feeling of home. There's a powerful insight into the psychology of belonging in a place that offers precious little of it.
And what truly amplifies that feeling of isolation for me is when he follows up with that incredibly vivid and poignant image of home being just a forgotten closet under a well-trod staircase where it's just you and the mice and the spiders, like an extra in a Wes Craven movie.
That line.
That specific, almost cinematic description immediately paints a picture of his profound isolation and vulnerability. It's classic Jughead,
Yeah.
a dark, self-deprecating joke,
Totally.
but one that is clearly deflecting a profound, devastating pain. This is not the comforting, safe space he or any child deserves.
No.
It's a chilling detail that makes you laugh nervously, maybe, and then immediately makes you deeply worried for his well-being.
That abrupt shift in tone, from the almost playful, macabre Wes Craven comment to the stark, crushing reality, is incredibly effective storytelling. It's Jughead's coping mechanism, right? His way of trying to maintain some semblance of control or dignity in a situation that offers him none.
Yeah.
But the underlying pain, the sheer weight of his situation, is palpable. For you, our listener, think about your own definition of home. Is it purely a physical location, a structure, or is it something far more intangible about the feeling, the people, the sense of safety, and unconditional acceptance? How do Jughead's raw, honest words his desperate search for belonging, or even just simple safety resonate with your own experiences. Perhaps moments when you felt a similar disconnect between the idealized version of home and the harsh reality.
It's a powerful invitation to introspection.
Definitely. Especially when we finally confront the full truth of his living situation. This opening doesn't just introduce an episode, it introduces a core thematic question that ripples through the entire series.
Which brings us to the truly shocking revelation that Jughead is, well, experiencing homelessness.
It's staggering.
Archie, ever the loyal friend, discovers Jughead practically squatting at Riverdale High, taking advantage of the school's state-of-the-art facilities, as Jughead sarcastically puts it.
That's sarcasm,
Please.
hiding so much pain.
This isn't just a minor plot point, it's a major character beat, a moment that completely redefines our understanding of Jughead's struggles and the depths of his desperation. It's delivered with such understated heartbreak, revealing the immense emotional toll this secret has taken on him.
The secrecy surrounding Jughead's living arrangements is incredibly telling, isn't it?
It really is.
His specific request to Archie, don't tell anybody, especially not Betty, and then don't tell her either, returning to Veronica. It highlights an immense, almost suffocating shame and his deeply guarded pride. He's clearly terrified of how others would view him, particularly Betty, given their budding romantic connection,
Right.
and Veronica, whom he likely perceives as privileged and maybe judgmental.
Probably.
For this revelation is an act of profound vulnerability for him, an exposure of his deepest insecurity. It's a rapid, brutal transition from that earlier, humorous Wes Craven comment to the grim, immediate truth of his homelessness. It underscores the raw depth of his unspoken struggle. It makes you realize how much he's been internalizing, how he's tried to put on a brave face while living in such precarious circumstances.
Absolutely.
This isn't just a tale of personal failure. It's a stark illustration of how Riverdale's seemingly idyllic veneer conceals these deep-seated class divides, where even basic needs are subject to the town's judgmental gaze, forcing desperate acts of pride and secrecy.
Absolutely. And think about the sheer immediate risks of him living in the school, getting caught by a teacher or security, facing immediate expulsion, having absolutely nowhere to go. It's not just uncomfortable, it's a precarious, potentially catastrophic existence.
Yeah.
But what's also beautiful about this moment is how profoundly it deepens the bond between Jughead and Archie.
Oh, for sure.
Archie's shocked reaction, "God, Jug, why didn't you tell me?" Followed by his immediate, heartfelt, and entirely unconditional offer, "Well, screw that, live with me."
Classic Archie. Pure heart.
It's a pure testament to their unwavering loyalty and the strength of their friendship. It's a moment of genuine, selfless support that's increasingly rare and precious in a town like Riverdale.
Where everyone seems to be looking out for themselves, yeah.
You could almost feel the immense emotional toll this must have taken on Jughead, carrying this devastating secret, pretending everything was fine, all while trying to navigate teenage life and a murder investigation.
And this hidden struggle, this quiet desperation, is immediately contextualized when Jughead reveals the truth about F.P. Jones's downward spiral. He confides in Archie, "Things aren't good at home." He asks about Fred. "With your dad."
Yeah.
He kind of fell off the wagon.
Yeah.
After your dad fired him, to tell you the truth, hasn't had a job since.
Oof. That hits hard.
This isn't just exposition. It provides crucial context for FP's increasingly erratic and unreliable behavior we've glimpsed in previous episodes.
Yeah, the hints were there. Yeah.
And, most importantly, for Jughead's own desperate living situation. It connects the dots back to Fred Andrews' decision to fire FP, showing how seemingly isolated business decisions can have devastating, unforeseen, and intergenerational consequences.
It's a brutal reminder that in Riverdale, actions taken by one family can directly impact the survival of another.
Totally.
This isn't just a detail, it's a critical, systemic piece of the puzzle that explains so much. It starkly highlights the cyclical nature of poverty and addiction, echoing through generations in Riverdale.
Yeah.
Fred's decision, perhaps made for what seemed like valid business reasons at the time, clearly had devastating ripple effects on the Jones family, directly contributing to FP's unemployment and subsequent relapse.
FP's struggles aren't just personal failures, are they? They're deeply intertwined with the town's economic realities and the often unseen consequences of decisions made by its more respectable and affluent citizens.
Right. It makes you truly wonder what kind of immense emotional and practical pressure this places on Jughead, feeling like he has to figure something out, not just for himself, but for the very survival of his fractured family.
This particular revelation about F.P. Jones's descent isn't merely a character backstory. It's a stark mirror, reflecting Riverdale's economic disparities and the devastating intergenerational impact of decisions made by those in power.
Precisely. And the stark reality of the complete family breakdown is further illustrated when Jughead explains the absence of his mother and sister. My mom couldn't take that roller coaster anymore, so she grabbed Jellybean and went to live with our grandparents.
Just gone.
This single line explains the complete absence of other family members, leaving Jughead effectively alone and placing the crushing weight of his family's future squarely on his young shoulders.
It paints a vivid, heartbreaking picture of a family utterly fractured by circumstance, addiction, and the seemingly insurmountable challenges of poverty, leaving Jughead truly adrift in a town that offers him little solace. It's the ultimate isolation.
So, with this newfound gut-wrenching understanding, Archie, being Archie, attempts a selfless intervention.
He has to try, right?
He speaks to his father, Fred, who, to his credit, offers FP a second chance at Andrew's construction.
Which is a big deal given the history.
But FP initially refuses, stating with this rigid pride, "He fired me, Jughead. What kind of man would I be if I went back hat in hand?"
Oh, FP, that pride.
This line speaks volumes about FP's stubborn, almost self-destructive pride and his deep-seated resentment, which has clearly festered for years.
It truly does. And it's a moment layered with complex emotion. For FP, this isn't just about getting a job. It's fundamentally about dignity, self-respect, and a perceived betrayal that has left a deep scar.
Yeah.
This refusal highlights the intense tension between FP's unyielding pride and Jughead's absolute desperate longing for his family to reunite. Jughead's raw, heartfelt plea, "Dad, don't you want to see our family back together? Mom and Jellybean could come home. I could come home. It's not too late," is utterly heartbreaking.
It really is.
It exposes just how much hope Jughead is pinning on this potential reconciliation, offering his father a literal lifeline to redemption. And yet, his father's pride, that fundamental aspect of his identity, threatens to snap that lifeline entirely. It's the fine line, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, his pride defines him, but on the other, Jughead's desperation makes it clear how destructive it can be. There's almost a tragic irony in how his attempt to regain dignity costs him the very thing he arguably needs most, his family.
Yeah.
FP's stubborn pride, a shield against perceived humiliation, becomes a destructive force, threatening to unravel his son's desperate hope for family unity, and revealing how deeply personal grievances can obstruct the path to redemption.
And this conflict, this deep-rooted grievance between FP and Fred, isn't just a personal drama playing out between two old friends.
No, it's more than that.
It leads directly into a deeper, much more complicated history between them, which, as we'll see, becomes a key reveal later in the episode. It adds layers to the long-standing tensions within Riverdale's community, signaling that this isn't just about the present. It's about decades of unresolved issues and buried resentments finally boiling to the surface, ready to explode.
It shows how the past is never truly past in Riverdale, always lurking just beneath the veneer.
Always. Okay, so from one family crisis to another, where the concept of home is equally fragile and threatened.
Yeah, let's turn our attention to the Cooper family. Polly continues to be this unseen victim, shrouded in layers of family secrets and desperate attempts at image control.
It's off.
Betty reveals her parents' shocking reluctance to involve the police about Polly's escape. Their concern isn't Polly's safety.
Oh.
It's that they don't want anyone to know about her shameful condition, her pregnancy. They fear the Blossoms would twist it, blame Polly for Jason's murder and the torched car.
Covering their own tracks.
Exactly, protecting their perfect family image above all else.
This immediately paints a chilling picture of the Coopers, particularly Alice, as being more concerned with meticulously maintaining their pristine public image than with their own daughter's very real, very present well-being.
It's an antiquated and deeply judgmental mindset.
Totally. It prioritizes reputation over human life, revealing a shocking, almost grotesque hypocrisy embedded within Riverdale's supposedly upstanding prominent families. Betty's exasperated question, delivered with such a weary tone, "Please, what decade is this?"
Perfect line.
It's a direct, stinging commentary on her parents' traditional, almost Victorian views on shame and family honor. It highlights how utterly out of touch they are with the current, very real danger Polly is in.
They're trapped in a mindset of the past while a modern tragedy unfolds around them.
The Coopers' desperate scramble to control the narrative highlights a chilling truth. In Riverdale, maintaining a pristine family image often trumps genuine concern for a child's safety, revealing how easily reputation becomes a shield against uncomfortable, inconvenient truths.
And that's a question that I imagine resonates deeply with many listeners. How often do societal pressures or the pervasive fear of family judgment prevent people from seeking necessary help or revealing the full truth, even when someone they love is in grave danger? The Coopers exemplify this dangerous tendency where outward appearances and social standing consistently trump genuine care and compassion.
It becomes a real source of anxiety for the audience watching these parents actively endanger their own daughter for the sake of their reputation.
And as if Polly wasn't already in enough danger, enter Cheryl Blossom.
Oh, Cheryl. In her inimitable, deliciously malicious fashion, takes things from bad to worse. She strategically uses information from Ginger to jump to a devastating conclusion. Polly escaping plus Polly torching Jason's car equals she's Jason's killer.
Just like that.
She then proceeds to tweet out this malicious, inflammatory accusation, not caring about the consequences. Hashtag Polly Cooper killed my brother, nowhere to hide, sharpen your pitchforks.
Ugh, that hashtag. It's vintage Cheryl at her most calculating and ruthless. It demonstrates her sharp intelligence, her profound grief and anger, and her masterful, if deeply unethical, use of social media to manipulate public opinion and exert power.
Especially after she's just regained her River Vixen spot, reclaiming her social standing.
Right. This isn't just a personal outburst of raw grief. It's a strategically executed move that transforms Polly's already desperate situation into a town-wide witch hunt, making her an immediate visible target for anyone looking for someone to blame for Jason's death.
Yeah.
It makes you question if she's genuinely convinced of Polly's guilt or if she's strategically trying to deflect suspicion from her own deeply troubled family.
Good point.
A move to control the narrative that mirrors the Cooper's own actions, ironically.
Exactly. And let's not forget the context here. Cheryl's demand to her mother for the vixens. What's a big one worth to you, mother? Letting me be a river vixen again.
Yeah, that leverage.
It underscores that this isn't just about information, it's about leverage and raw power, even within her own family. How incredibly dangerous and irresponsible is it to spread rumors and incite public anger like this in a small, insular town like Riverdale?
Terribly dangerous.
This isn't just gossip, it could lead to actual physical violence, potentially turning a grieving community into an angry, vengeful mob. For Polly, it raises the stakes exponentially, transforming her into a hunted animal.
In a shocking, though strategically brilliant response to Cheryl's public accusation, Alice Cooper makes an abrupt and complete shift in her approach.
Total 180.
She decides to hold a press conference, revealing to the entire town that Polly is pregnant with Jason Blossom's baby. Her carefully worded defense, Polly wouldn't hurt a fly, let alone the father of her unborn child, is a calculated, almost cynical move to control the narrative and garner public sympathy.
This isn't about honesty, is it?
No, it's about crisis management. Pure PR.
This is a truly shocking twist for both the townspeople and, frankly, for us, the audience. The Coopers pivot dramatically from hiding the pregnancy as a shameful secret to weaponizing it.
For public sympathy and as a defense mechanism for Polly, it's a masterclass in narrative control.
But it also raises so many unsettling questions. How will this news impact the Blossoms, who seem to have such a fierce, almost obsessive interest in their family line and legacy?
Oh yeah, the precious Blossom bloodline.
What new unforeseen pressures will Polly face now that her incredibly vulnerable condition is public knowledge? Does this make Polly safer by making her a sympathetic figure?
Oh.
Or does it make her even more vulnerable to the manipulations of powerful families who might want control of her child? It's a moment that throws the entire mystery into a new, complex, and ethically ambiguous light.
And this reveal immediately sets up the next conflict. Polly's unwavering, deeply maternal desire to keep her baby versus her parents' equally unwavering insistence on adoption, which they've clearly already discussed and implicitly coerced Polly into considering.
It paints a stark picture of a young woman caught between her own powerful maternal instincts and the controlling, image-obsessed desires of her family.
Who see the baby as a potential embarrassment rather than a new life.
Speaking of Polly, in one of the episode's most poignant and vulnerable moments, Polly secretly returns to Betty using that hidden interest.
Dad still hasn't fixed the cellar door.
A small detail that speaks volumes about the household's neglect, I guess.
Absolutely.
She reveals her heartbreaking plan with Jason. Go to this farm upstate and raise the baby.
That dream.
This brief exchange isn't just plot, it deeply humanizes Polly, revealing her hopes, her dreams, and her desperate vision of a future with Jason, a future that was so brutally snatched away from her. It's a glimpse into the raw, unfulfilled potential of their young love.
It truly does, and her fear is palpable, almost visceral. When she confides in Betty, Mom and Dad want me to give the baby up for adoption. They made that very clear. You don't know what they'll do.
Chilling.
This highlights the deeply coercive and controlling nature of her parents, making it abundantly clear that Polly is not just running from external dangers to Blossom family, public scrutiny, but she's running from her own family.
Yeah.
It thrusts Betty into an impossible dilemma, torn between her fierce loyalty to protect her sister and the ingrained habit of obeying her domineering parents. Parents who have demonstrated they will stop at nothing to control their daughters' lives.
And Polly's raw, visceral emotion is captured perfectly in her heartbreaking declaration. I won't have my baby raised in a home that doesn't want it.
That line just gut punches you.
This single line encapsulates the desperate nature of her situation and her unwavering resolve to protect her child. It also makes you wonder about Jason's character.
Right. Was he truly planning a future with Polly?
Or was this a naive, hopeful dream concocted by two desperate teenagers? And what immense risks is Betty taking by actively shielding Polly and going against her parents?
Parents who have shown they're willing to go to extreme lengths to control their daughters' lives. It's a heavy moral and practical burden for a teenager to carry.
Forcing Betty to mature at an accelerated, terrifying pace.
Okay, shifting gears now from the shattered ideals of home, let's delve into the Lodge family dynamics.
Oh, yes.
Which are a fascinating, complex study in power, betrayal, and the delicate art of negotiation. We get a revealing glimpse into Hermione's harsh financial reality.
Contrasting sharply with Veronica's almost oblivious retail therapy.
Totally. Hermione pointedly tells Veronica that the nest egg that your father left us barely covers the rent of this apartment.
That's a big reveal, shattering the illusion of their continued wealth.
Definitely. We also learned about Hermione's cushy new job working for your high school boyfriend, a clearly loaded jab referring to Fred Andrews.
This scene immediately reveals Hermione's profound vulnerability and the harsh financial reality of their post-Hiram life. It humanizes her, showing that she's making genuine sacrifices and difficult choices to keep them afloat.
A far cry from her previous life of luxury.
But it also pointedly hints at the rekindling of her past with Fred, creating new, palpable tension with Veronica, who is clearly not happy about this development.
No, not at all.
The almost comedic visual of Smithers putting Veronica's treasures from Glamazon.com in her room perfectly highlights the stark contrast between Veronica's old, opulent, and frankly unsustainable habits and Hermione's new, more grounded reality.
It's a stark illustration of how financial pressures can dramatically influence relationships and decisions, even in the lives of the seemingly wealthy, forcing uncomfortable compromises.
Absolutely. The perception of wealth and control in Riverdale, especially for families like the Lodges, is often just that, a meticulously constructed perception.
Behind the gleaming facade, real financial struggles are playing out, forcing Hermione to make choices that directly impact her family and, as we see, her personal life. This financial precarity makes her actions and her potential alliance with Fred Andrews far more understandable and less purely romantic. It's a calculated risk, burn of necessity.
And speaking of Veronica, her rebellion in this episode is just a masterclass in large-style negotiation and power plays.
Isn't it, though?
After her Black Swan outing, her American Excess card is unceremoniously declined, and she's effectively cut off.
Ouch.
But Veronica, ever the strategist, ever the student of her parents, explains her approach to Reggie. This is how we Lodge women roll. We feint, we parry, we approach, we retreat.
The cobra and the mongoose?
We're like a cobra and a mongoose dancing. She blinked, which means I suspect that Hermione Lodge is ready to negotiate.
This dialogue is pure, unadulterated Veronica. It showcases her incredible cunning, her sharp intelligence, and her almost uncanny ability to adapt to her mother's intricate tactics.
Yeah.
It reveals a deep-seated, almost innate understanding of Lodge family dynamics and the constant power plays that define their relationships.
Her quick thinking, like her get-out-of-jail-free card comment about outing their age to the cops,
So clever.
further solidifies her as a formidable force, a worthy successor to her parents' manipulative genius.
It's a clear demonstration of her inheriting her parents' manipulative traits, but perhaps for more sympathetic, or at least understandable reasons, a means of survival in her own right.
It definitely makes you wonder about the true underlying nature of their mother-daughter relationship. Is it truly built on unconditional love? Or is it a constant high-stakes battle for dominance, control, and influence, with moments of affection interspersed between strategic maneuvers? How will this negotiation, this intricate strategic dance, shape their future interactions?
It suggests that even within their own family, trust is a commodity that must be earned, constantly reevaluated, or even ruthlessly manipulated, rather than simply given.
It's a relationship forged in a crucible of power.
Which leads us to a crucial, if fragile, turning point. The mother-daughter truce and Hermione's moment of confession. Hermione, showing a rare, almost startling moment of vulnerability and honesty, confesses to Veronica, "I am working with Mr. Andrews, and yes, we are developing feelings for each other."
Wow, actually saying it.
In response, Veronica, ever pragmatic and strategic, lays out her non-negotiable demands. Fred must be out of the house, and Hermione must confess to Hiram about forging Veronica's signature on the Sodell contract.
Those are the terms, the delicate piece.
This is a truly significant moment of rapprochement, albeit an incredibly fragile one that could easily shatter. Hermione's honesty, while undoubtedly difficult and exposing, paves the way for this tentative truce.
Veronica's demands show her complex loyalty to her father, despite his criminality and absence, and her fierce desire to protect her own reputation and integrity.
Especially with the legal implications of the forged signature.
It paints a clear picture of the complex, often morally ambiguous landscape of the Lodge family, where even love and family ties are inextricably entangled with legal quandaries and ethical gray areas.
The precise terms of their agreement, whatever is happening with you and Fred, can't happen under this roof.
All right.
And you have to come clean to Daddy about forging my signature, are key.
They are a binding contract, not just a casual conversation.
And this fragile truce is immediately, almost violently put to the test.
Almost instantly.
No sooner has Hermione made these difficult concessions and agreements than she receives a chilling call from Shady Pines Penitentiary.
Shady Pines.
Her casual, almost practiced acceptance of the charges, "looks like you've done this before," is incredibly chilling. It speaks volumes about the routine nature of these calls and Hiram's continued pervasive influence.
This scene profoundly reinforces the idea that Hiram, even incarcerated, remains a powerful, controlling, and manipulative force in the Lodge family's life.
Oh, absolutely.
Hermione's practiced, almost casual response suggests a routine, almost obligatory pattern of communication, implying his ongoing direction, manipulation, and influence from behind bars. The brief, almost clandestine exchange she has with the mysterious Vic during FP's worksite interaction also hints at Hiram's continued reach.
And the shadowy network he still commands.
You have to wonder what highly sensitive information Hiram is still privy to, and how his inevitable knowledge of Hermione's rekindled relationship with Fred, and especially the forged contract.
Oh yeah, the contract.
How will that impact not just their family dynamics, but the entire Sodell project and its future? Is Hermione truly free to make certain decisions about her life moving forward, as she claimed to Veronica?
Doesn't feel like it.
Or is she still very much under Hiram's thumb, a puppet in his larger unseen game? It sets up a terrifying future for the Lodge women.
This constant shadow cast by Hiram Lodge over his family, even from prison, means that any truce or new relationship can be instantly destabilized, shattered at his whim. It adds an intense layer of constant threat to the Lodge's already turbulent lives, underscoring that in Riverdale, even freedom is conditional.
Particularly when you're connected to a man like Hiram Lodge.
His influence is a pervasive, almost suffocating presence that dictates their every move.
Okay, now let's pivot to the deepening mystery of Jason's murder, which takes a dramatic and profoundly unfair turn.
Yeah, as new suspects emerge and long-buried grievances come to light.
Sheriff Keller, who seems to be operating with an increasingly narrow, biased, and frankly prejudiced lens, sets his sights squarely on Jughead Jones.
Poor Jughead.
Jughead's fingerprints are found on Jason's torched car, and his past incident attempting to burn down Riverdale Elementary School is aggressively brought to light.
Not as context, but as damning evidence.
Exactly. Keller's profiling is particularly insidious and damning. A kid like you, raised on the wrong side of the tracks by a deadbeat dad, bullied by kids like Jason Blossom. Who wouldn't want to lash out at that?
That is just awful profiling. This is a dramatic, deeply unjust, and frankly infuriating shift in the murder investigation. It immediately highlights the pervasive prejudice of authority figures against those from the wrong side of the tracks, and the inherent, terrifying danger of circumstantial evidence.
Especially when combined with existing biases and societal stereotypes.
Keller isn't looking for the truth, is he? He's looking for a convenient scapegoat that perfectly fits his preconceived notions about who commits crimes in Riverdale.
Seems like it.
Jughead's defiance, his assertion, "I want a lawyer," is absolutely necessary for his protection, but it unfortunately only fuels Keller's suspicion,
Makes him look guilty to Keller.
making him appear defensive and guilty in the eyes of a biased system. This moment powerfully illustrates how easily past mistakes or social status can lead to unfair accusations, turning someone into a scapegoat, as Jughead himself rightly fears. It's a stark reminder of how easily one's narrative can be manipulated by those in power.
And Jughead's raw, almost defiant retort, "Yeah, my name is Jughead," when Keller dismissively mentions him being bullied.
That vulnerability.
It shows both his profound vulnerability and the long-lasting, deeply ingrained impact of his past traumas. It's a moment that resonates with anyone who has ever felt judged, misunderstood, or unfairly categorized.
Definitely.
For you, our listener, think about how quickly and easily someone can be branded and condemned, not by facts, but by prejudice and the insidious power of reputation. This isn't just a character being accused, it's a commentary on systemic injustice.
And then, almost as if to explain the roots of such prejudice, we get a crucial piece of backstory that sheds new, complicated light on the deep-seated resentment between Fred and FP.
The history.
FP's version of events is compelling. They started Andrew's construction together as equal partners, but Fred bailed me out after FP got into hot water with odd jobs that weren't exactly on the level.
Okay.
But then Fred made me sign a paper saying the bail money was him buying me out of the company. Never mind that my share of the business was worth probably 10 times that easy.
Whoa, that's a foundational betrayal, if true.
This revelation unearths a deep-seated grievance and a potential profound betrayal between the two fathers. It radically complicates our perception of Fred as purely good and FP as purely bad.
Forcing us to reevaluate their entire dynamic.
The listener is left to weigh these conflicting narratives, knowing that the truth is often far more complex than a simple binary.
And Fred's counter-narrative to Archie FP was a mess. He was stealing from the company and selling stuff on the side. You have no idea how many times I bailed that man out of jail.
Yeah, Fred's side of it.
Provides an alternative, more critical view of FP's past actions, painting him as a perpetual screw-up. It's a classic case of he said.
And the truth, as always in Riverdale, likely lies somewhere in between, muddled by personal biases, selective memory, and the weight of their respective positions in town.
And this raises incredibly important questions about legacy and loyalty, doesn't it?
It really does. Whose version is closer to the truth? Or is the truth a complicated, painful mix of both perspectives, with each man having contributed to the rift? How does this historical conflict between their fathers, this foundational betrayal rooted in business and friendship, impact Archie and Jughead's incredibly strong, but now tested bond?
That friendship is being strained.
It suggests that the sins of the fathers are indeed visited upon the sons, creating a deep, almost inescapable rift that transcends their immediate bond.
What further darker secrets might this revelation about Riverdale's founding families unleash? How much more will it reveal about the often unseen struggles beneath the town's polished surface?
The cracks are showing, and they run deep.
Just when we thought we had a grasp on the main players, the Blossoms also dramatically enter the fray with their own shifting motives and increasingly ominous intentions.
Always lurking.
Initially, Clifford and Penelope Blossom, in a move that feels utterly disingenuous, offer financial and emotional support to Polly and JJ's baby, going so far as to claim Polly is part of the Blossom family now.
Yeah, that felt off, like way off.
This seems like a shocking, almost unbelievable sudden change of heart, especially after Cheryl's earlier public shaming of Polly and their initial hostility.
It absolutely does, and that's precisely where the alarm bells should be ringing for everyone, especially for us as we look back. However, Cheryl,
Yes.
in a surprisingly selfless, urgent, and deeply unsettling warning to Betty, reveals a far more sinister motive lurking beneath her parents' sudden generosity. You have to leave, now.
Chilling.
My parents, I don't think they want to help you. It's not safe for you with them. It's not safe for JJ's baby.
Wow, Cheryl actually helping Betty.
This dramatically changes our perception of the Blossom's intentions, from potentially manipulative to actively dangerous. Their earlier generosity, particularly Clifford's line, "Money won't be a problem, Betty. Not now, not ever, not with us."
Sounds good on the surface.
Sounds incredibly magnanimous. But with Cheryl's chilling warning, it takes on an entirely different, menacing and deeply predatory tone. It's not an offer. It's a veiled threat of control.
And let's not overlook their seemingly innocent questions about Polly's potential drug use for due diligence.
Right. That felt so invasive.
This now reads, in retrospect, as a cynical attempt to gather information to undermine Polly's maternal fitness and gain legal leverage over the baby, rather than expressing any genuine concern for her health.
Totally. Setting her up.
So, what do the Blossoms truly want with Polly and the baby? Are they simply trying to control the narrative and secure an heir to their legacy?
Or is there a darker, more direct threat to Polly and her unborn child at play?
How will Betty, already carrying such a heavy burden, protect Polly from this powerful, manipulative, and now clearly menacing family?
This is a key, terrifying turning point in the mystery, adding a layer of corporate and familial intrigue and a very real sense of danger to the murder investigation.
It's about bloodlines, power, and legacy at any cost.
With all these complex layers of betrayal, secrets, and escalating danger unfolding, we witness the formation of some truly unlikely alliances.
And the desperate search for true sanctuary in a town that offers precious little of it.
Following Cheryl's dire warning about her parents' true malevolent intentions, Betty makes a decisive, bold, and incredibly risky move.
Bringing Polly to Hermione Lodge's apartment.
Yeah. Hermione, despite her own struggles and recent financial downturn, surprisingly offers Polly a safe haven, saying, "Of course you can stay, as long as you need. Anything for Alice Cooper's daughters."
It's an act of unexpected compassion in a harsh world.
This is a surprising and incredibly impactful alliance, defying all expectations. The Lodge apartment, which until now symbolized their diminished status and Hiram's downfall,
Right, the Pembroke.
suddenly, ironically, becomes a sanctuary, a beacon of safety. It highlights Hermione's growing compassion and perhaps a strategic move of her own.
Aligning herself and Veronica with the Coopers, or at least Betty and Polly, against the powerful, insidious Blossom family.
Could be. Polly's gratitude is palpable, almost overwhelming, as she refers to Betty as her guardian angel, which truly underscores the immense emotional weight of Betty's courageous, selfless actions.
And the desperate situation Polly finds herself in. It's a powerful moment of sisterhood and solidarity.
It definitely does, and this new, unexpected living arrangement will inevitably affect the already strained Lodge household dynamics. What new interactions, what new tensions?
What new alliances will emerge between Hermione, Veronica, Betty, and Polly under one roof?
Does this make Polly truly safe, or merely shift the danger to a new location, potentially placing the Lodge women, and by extension Fred Andrews, directly in the Blossom's increasingly dangerous crosshairs?
It starkly shows the intricate interconnectedness of all these Riverdale families and their intertwined fates.
Where a threat to one can quickly become a threat to all.
Meanwhile, Jughead's situation also sees a glimmer of hope, albeit a fragile one.
A tiny sliver.
After being cleared by Sheriff Keller, thanks to Fred's fabricated alibi, which is a whole other layer of ethical complexity and loyalty, Jughead chooses to go home with FP.
A huge decision for him.
In a surprisingly emotional and vulnerable moment, FP, perhaps shaken by Jughead's brush with the law, makes a heartfelt promise. I'm gonna do what you want, get my act together.
You want to believe him?
I'm gonna get your mom and Jellybean home so we're all under the same roof, I promise. But I just need a little time to do that. Not a lot, not long. A month, 2 at the most.
That promise. This moment is incredibly fraught with both the profound hope of a son and the deep skepticism bred from a lifetime of disappointment. FP's sincerity seems real in that moment, spurred by seeing his son almost wrongly accused. But his past behavior, his consistent failures, casts a long, dark shadow over this promise. Jughead's decision to go with his father, despite Archie and Fred's previous, far more stable offers for him to stay, underscores his deep, abiding, almost desperate longing for his family to reunite.
To finally have that sense of home he so desperately craves.
His hesitant but hopeful response, "Yeah, I believe you, Dad," captures the raw vulnerability of the moment, and it's almost heartbreaking to witness this sliver of hope against such a bleak backdrop.
You can't help but wonder, looking back, can FP truly change? What immense systemic challenges will he face in trying to get his act together?
Especially given his deep, secret serpent affiliation.
Right. And his clandestine interaction with Vic at the construction site, where he explicitly tells Vic, Dudley Do Right doesn't know I'm a serpent, so I'd appreciate it if you keep that to yourself.
That line alone tells us he's still living a complicated double life, deeply entrenched in a world that actively contradicts his promise to Jughead.
Will this promise be kept, or will it ultimately lead to further, perhaps even deeper, disappointment and heartbreak for Jughead?
Potentially pushing him even further into the very darkness he so acutely feels. It's a very uncertain, volatile future for the Jones family, teetering on a precipice.
And through all of this relentless family drama, betrayals, and accusations, Betty Cooper undergoes a truly remarkable and accelerated evolution.
She really steps up.
Throughout the episode, we see her transform from being merely a worried, compliant sister, caught in the suffocating web of her parents' lies and expectations,
To a decisive, proactive protector and strategist.
she's forced to navigate public accusations, dangerous family secrets, and make incredibly difficult, high-stakes choices for Polly's safety.
Increasingly relying on her friends like Jughead and Veronica, who become her chosen family, really.
This episode truly marks a significant, indelible turning point for Betty's character, setting her on a new trajectory. She sheds a crucial layer of her innocent, perfect girl next door facade.
Yeah, that's gone.
Forced to confront the dark, unsettling underbelly of her own family and community, her actions, like immediately taking Polly to the lodges after Cheryl's chilling warning, aren't impulsive.
No, they're smart, calculated.
They show her growing agency, her sharp, strategic mind, and her unwavering, deep concern for Polly's well-being, which is clearly the driving, almost singular force behind her decisions.
She's becoming less the perfect Betty and more a complex, proactive, and fiercely protective hero, ready to face the darkness head-on for those she loves.
So what does this all mean looking back at Chapter 7 in A Lonely Place? This episode has profoundly reshaped our understanding of Riverdale.
Massively.
Jughead's deeply personal struggle for a true sense of home, Polly's desperate, perilous fight for her child, the Lodge family's intricate power games, and shifting loyalties.
And the dark, tangled history between Fred and FP.
It all weaves into a much more complex, dangerous, and morally ambiguous tapestry. The carefully constructed facades of Riverdale's prominent families are not just cracking, they are crumbling.
Revealing profound layers of hypocrisy, self-interest, and desperate measures beneath.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this episode relentlessly emphasizes how deeply intertwined family secrets, pervasive class divides, and often conflicting personal loyalties are in Riverdale.
Trust, we see, is an incredibly scarce and fragile commodity.
Yeah.
And the pursuit of truth is almost always clouded by self-interest, hidden agendas, and outright manipulation. The initial clear-cut mystery of Jason Blossom's murder now feels far more personal, far more systemic,
And far more deeply entrenched in the town's very foundation.
hinting at a much larger conspiracy or an intricate web of deceit that runs through the very heart of Riverdale. We're seeing how the past continually influences the present, trapping characters in cycles of behavior.
Revealing that no one in Riverdale truly lives in isolation.
As Jughead so aptly and chillingly observed in his closing monologue for this episode, sometimes there's just darkness. That line.
This raises an important, lingering question for you, our listener, as you reflect on this chapter. In a town like Riverdale, where everyone seems to be holding a deeply guarded secret,
And the lines between good and bad, victim and perpetrator, are constantly blurring and shifting.
can true justice ever genuinely be served? Or is it merely a matter of who controls the narrative, who has the power to define the truth? We'll leave you to mull that over until our next deep dive into the ever-darkening world of Riverdale.